Indeed, the toque that makes me look the most like my grandma. I slept with this one last night. It was cold and damp, and no heat because I didn't want to start the vehicle to get closer, and I didn't want to try to spend a lot of time to connect both of my extension cables to see if it wouldn't make it all the way here, and maybe not even. So one night I can do it. It wasn't as cold as other times, so like the campground is lower too, eh? So it's probably colder than it is here at the highway level. The mechanic person wasn't available, so I did the job myself. And what I want to be sure I do right this time is let it dry longer. So there, I didn't refill the engine coolant to where it reaches the thermostat and gasket and sealant that it says on the bottle should be, tightened fully by an hour, but take 24 hours to fully dry. So right now I don't really want to even start my vehicle until 2 p.m. and it's not even 9 yet, but I did assemble everything, so the last thing left to do is to add the coolant when I'm ready, and I might not even add it right away when I start it because I want to be sure it doesn't leak. And then I'll add some a little bit after. It's not totally empty of coolant or anything. There's a lot still left. But I decided to put the new piece, but it has like a hole on top where you need an Allen key to plug it with the and it was getting so tight even halfway to the bottom, so I was worried about stripping it and then having to redo everything. Although that piece came with a gasket, it was the right shape around, but the holes weren't perfectly placed. It was generic that you can play with the holes a little bit for the screws. So I put the one that was perfect, but I do have sealant left, the high temperature reddish paste, and I have this secondary gasket, and I can even, if when I get the right Allen key, because I had to borrow it, if I buy one or borrow one and I tighten it further once it got hot a few times, it'll make me less worried about that new piece that had that extra hole for anybody that might want to put an extra hose of something down there. So I'd like to get that lower down. I don't think it'll leak, but I should within a couple of days or before a long trip, tighten it more by getting that proper Allen key size to tighten it. That means reopening everything. I did everything myself, and I was here 2 nights, and so I am disappointed with how expensive the parts were. She said she'd give me a discount. One part I didn't put because I don't have the right tool to loosen my pulley, my belt, and but that part was the most expensive, although it's kind of weird that it is, but maybe it is. And but I do want to double check all these parts prices, because I don't think it's fair they made even any profit there, because like the mechanic didn't show up, and I didn't get the pipe that was ordered from Lordco. She said she ordered, so she went and did an errand to get one, and she said she got a good deal, but still I'm charged a lot for just cutting a piece of that myself. Like doing a lot, and then you get the receipt where it says this was done, which includes the labor. No, I did the labor. I signed like they want, but they were argumentative. The lady was getting less patient with me, not the manager, but the other lady. And it's like, no, I offered to help here, and I would have liked them to ask me if I wanted Chinese food for lunch yesterday because I had money to pay for it, and so I don't know. When I'm not known in the community, everybody's friends with each other, and as nice as I am, it takes time for them, and it takes time mostly for them to realize, if ever, not everybody does, that I'm a good person and I seek to be of service, but also that they didn't reference the outside world, right? That it's that I had to spend 2 nights here. My errands are still not finished, and now part of it is they're super busy. It's their tire season, but I could have helped in some ways, right? And a lot of multitasking where quality is lost, or repetition has to be done, where I'm not popular by repeating things. or asking, can you show me? Because I'm wasting my time finding the place that you know where it is and you think I should find it right away. No, I'm not finding that place right away where to dump my coolant. So take that couple of minutes and reference my time. That's been, I didn't get paid to be here. You got profit for me being here, doing my repairs. So, and there was no collaboration where I could get a bigger discount by helping while I'm here or do more. And I'm trying to support them. I'm keeping my appointment here to do my exhaust, although it's in another 5 weeks, and I hope that goes well. And I hope they don't charge me a lot extra, because I'm going to say no, I don't agree. Even after the job is done, I'm sorry. You need to be communicating things in advance, and I spent a lot of time here last time, and your mechanic didn't even show up. So yeah, I mean, there's one kid that was more helpful there, and he's nice, and he's a friendly person who's helpful and curious about learning more, right? Because when he's bored and he doesn't have anything to do right away, he came to see, right? Because he wants to learn more mechanical stuff. That's nice. But anyways, I got to still install that pulley, which isn't a rush, because it's just a tiny little wobble of one of the pulleys, the one that's, for the accessory of air conditioning. If there was air conditioning, I don't have that, but and just don't want it to get more wobbly suddenly. At least I'll have the part, except that now I should buy the tool also, not just that Allen key there to do once, right? But also to loosen my pulley by myself when I want to do things myself like that. And it has to be more and more by myself, and it has to be, I have to get my own account, maybe at Napa or something. I don't know how much to charge for delivery, if anything, if you're not a garage, if I'm just a person working on my things. But at least if I have an account there, I can just bypass the middleman and pay a better rate, because it still seems when I have appointments for things, I end up doing more and more things by myself. So I prepared at least my recycling now, and looking forward to burn some of this humidity later today, maybe even when it gets dark by the time I do my errands, when I get back to the campground and plug my cables, assuming there's no other issues there, that that there's no assumption that I'm not coming back, or that somebody decided to close the campground power or water early or something like that without letting me know. Yeah, it's been frustrating also this week, with the job I'm waiting for, and housing situations, that it's just slow. Everything's moving slow. Problem solving by others is moving slow. And of course, I'm discovering that even when people have my phone number, just like when they had my email, they're not really using it to communicate properly. So, and with consideration of others, like like getting an update on something would be nice. And this is something that comes naturally to me, to give updates by phone calls, even if it's just leaving a voicemail, or to send an email. And I feel bad if I don't, and I apologize if it takes an extra day or two. And when somebody asks me to email something, I email it to them. But when I don't get a follow-up, whether they got it or not, or decided to look for it at that time, or it's only later, they say, oh, which day? And then I have to help them find it. So I find, again, I'm not learning another language. So even if I'm working in a community where they say, well, it would help if you learned our language, because we're trying to reestablish our language after what's been done to our culture. But the thing is it's abusive. It's abusive to force me to learn a language when people don't want to learn about communication. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to make the point about communication again. I have a lot of examples of why I've never wanted to learn Japanese or Korean, but I've wanted to teach them communication skills when I was there. Of course, if I had a spouse, it'd be different, but